Greetings. It's Brother Blacklight. We still talking about the real deal. This is Elijah speaking on Master Farrar.
I met him. I looked at him and he, it just came to me like this, that this is the Son of Man that the Bible said, that prophesied that will come in the last days of the world, and that I couldn't get that out of me. And I shook hands with him and I said to him, I say, you are the one that the Bible prophesies that will come at the end of the world under the name Son of Man and under the name the second coming of Jesus. And so he looked at me a little stern, and then he smiled and he put his head down to my beside my head and whispered in my ear and said these words. He said, yes, I am the one, but who knows that? But yourself. And be quiet. His mother, he says, was a white woman, and his father was a black man. Yes, sir. He taught us that he was born in Mecca, Arabia, and that he had come in and out of this country for about 20 years before ever that he made himself known to us. He had studied, he says, out here, or rather he had enrolled in the California University there, and he lived with a white family out there, he says, while he was going to the University of California. How long he went to this university, I don't know, but he says to me that he did go to this university and enroll there. And other universities he mentioned to me, and finally he told me this, that he had studied every educational systems of the civilized world, and that he could speak and, speak 16 languages and write 10 of them. He could speak 16 fluently. Well, I was not too much learned into scripture at that time, and I had not studied too much, but I had from a child up wanted to learn the scripture, because my father was a preacher, and I always from a child up wanted to help him or take his place one day as a preacher. And so I was always studying the Bible, and I had read much about the coming of the judgment and the coming of God and Jesus returning to resurrected dead and all like that. I had studied much of that. And so all of his talk and teachings correspond with what I had learned of the scripture. And therefore I become one of his, I should say 100% convert. And on his leave of us, he began to tell me what I may expect, what will come to pass, and what I should do to try and make my people qualified, or rather to reform them and make them acceptable by the Islamic people, and teach them that they must change completely in the way of righteousness and that they would have to forego the name that they was in, and that he would give them all a name himself. And much he said to me. He used to teach me night and day. We used to sit sometime from early part of the night until sunrise and after sunrise, all night long. Away from the temple for a while. And when I came back to the temple for a little while, then I asked the messenger about teaching again. He says, not the kind of teaching that you used to do. He says, but that what you did when you was told to go to the temple and ask the people for the money before that I get there, so that everything will be all right. I began to think on now what he said. You go and try your hand in Inkster, Michigan. Out in Inkster, you know, right here at the door, between here and the airport. I had a temple out there.